Hi guys, so I'm just going to kind of tell you how my first week postpartum went after having my twin daughters. It's actually been 8 days today, and I think I've done actually pretty well. The first, of course there was pain involved and everything, but I knew from experience with working in postpartum that the key is to stay on the medication, take the pain meds regularly, and everything would go good. And that's kind of what happened. I kind of took the pain meds when they were offered, kept the pain at a minimum, and so then you're healing, a lot faster. Also, the next day they allowed me to get out of bed, and I was kind of anxious to get up and get moving, because the quicker you get up and get moving, the faster you heal and everything. So, yeah, and I think also I felt so good because I had been feeling so miserable the last few weeks of my pregnancy. I mean, at 37 weeks, I was measuring 45 weeks. I was huge. I had this huge belly, so much weight, so much all that. So it's like instantly after that C-section, I lost like ton of weight, like right like that. It's like I could breathe again. I could move again. It was just, so I think that's why maybe it was a little bit different for me as well. But in all of that, it went really well. We actually left the hospital. The girls had just barely reached 48 hours, and we were leaving. I had asked to go home, and they said that everything looked fine, that we could go home. And so, it's funny because friends and family were so amazed that we were going home, but it's like, I just want to get out of the hospital. It's like, you don't get any rest there. They're in your room every 5 minutes, it feels like. Right when you close your eyes, they're there. Or right when I would get the girls to sleep, they were coming in to weigh them and check them. And so I was just ready to go home. I'm trying to think what's going on. So there wasn't a whole, I was expecting like a whole ton of bleeding. Now the first couple of days when I was in the hospital, there was a lot of bleeding, and they help you like clean yourself and do all that. But being home, it really hasn't been that bad. It's really, it's been 8 days, and I'm just kind of like spotting now, which is awesome. So that part isn't as bad as what I thought. The biggest thing is that I'm just really sore. The way to describe it is I just feel like I've kind of been beat up a bit. The incision itself doesn't hurt. I had the staples removed on Monday, which was 4 days after the C-section. They removed the staples, and then they put the Surrey strips, which are like tape, across your incision to kind of keep it together, because it's like you're healed, but you're not quite healed yet, because they don't want to leave the staples in too long, because then you start to heal over the staples, and then it's painful to take them out, and plus you get more scarring. So they did that, and my incision looks great, no infection or anything. But the one thing that I was so shocked at with the whole experience is that I swelled up so much. I didn't really have a lot of swelling with the pregnancy, but I guess that during the surgery they fill you with so many fluids with the IV that you just swell, and my feet are so disgusting, and I'm not even going to show you because it's gross. They're so swollen, and my legs are swollen. Like, for the first time in my life, I have cankles. Ugh. It's so gross. My husband was like, "Where are your feet?" And I'm like, let's not even talk about it. I don't know if you can kind of hear my girls, but they're starting to wake up. It's almost feeding time, so let me get this video going. But they told me that the swelling would just get worse before it gets better. And I finally noticed today that it's getting a little bit better. I can move my toes up a little bit more, like before I couldn't. And my husband was always making the joke, like, that it reminds him of putting hot dogs in a microwave and having them like split open. And I'm like, they're not split. He's like, but they look like they're on the verge. That's so disgusting. Husbands are great that way, right? I think the hardest part about all of this is the lack of sleep. I have 2 babies to feed, and they're feeding around the clock, and so it's like, I feel like just when I lay my head down, then they're awake again, and it takes a little bit longer to feed them than it would just one baby. And my husband and I have kind of been dealing with the no sleep thing and not really liking each other a whole lot, but I mean, I guess that's just bound to happen. You're just so overtired and everything, and then being hormonal too, so I start crying at every little thing, and so yeah. But I think today is actually the first day that I was like, okay, I feel good, because I was able to get a couple of hours of straight sleep. I'm not so nervous with the girls sleeping now. I don't constantly look at them, make sure they're breathing. I can actually just let my body rest, and I think that's what I really needed. Also, a shower. Showers feel amazing. It's so funny how much you took for granted before you had before you have babies, because those showers are few and far between, and when you get into one, oh, you just feel like a new person. So yeah, I think that's basically it with my postpartum. I don't go back to my doctor for a few more weeks, and then I don't want to go back to work, but that's kind of looming around the corner. I'll do a separate video on breastfeeding because that's a whole story in itself, but I am breastfeeding and it's going. It's good and it's bad, so I'll definitely put that out. And so yeah, that's my postpartum. I can't think of anything else. I know one thing that's been difficult is eating. It's really hard to get food into me because I'm always thinking of the girls. And also, they took me off my blood pressure medicine. I'm no longer having to check my sugar levels. And I just kind of have to follow up with my primary doctor because they said that for right now, everything looks great because, you know, all that stress has been taken off my body now that the girls are born. So hopefully, the diabetes is gone. I don't have to take blood pressure medicine anymore because with the pregnancy, I actually lost a bunch of weight, and so hopefully that will help. And I do have, you know, because I lost weight and I wasn't able to exercise, I need to tone really, really bad. I'm not used to my legs being like this and blood, so gross. And, you know, I do have a bit of the skin issue going on my belly, but, I mean, why wouldn't I? I had 2 babies in there and I was stretched so much. But I'm hoping that some of the skin finds a new home and it all just redistributes. But I never had a bikini body, so what do I expect now? I mean, I'm a mom. I don't mind having a bit of a mom body. So I went through a lot to get here, and so I'm enjoying it. So I think that's it for my first postpartum update. Thank you all for watching and continuing to support me and following me on Twitter, and because it's kind of easier for me to get kind of little updates there than to do a video each time, because I honestly am either feeding, changing, holding, or something that relates to a baby. But thanks again, guys. Bye.